Hello and welcome to Sci Guy 29's channel. I'm your host, Sci Guy 29. I'll explain what that channel means here, or what the name of the channel means here in a little bit. Want to start off with, though, this is my first attempt at this. There's one other video out there that I've made from a collecting standpoint, and that's in regard to Up North Collectors subscriber contest. But let's get back to my channel. Reason for the name, Sci Guy 29. I grew up just 25 miles from Ames, Iowa, home of the Iowa State Cyclones. So that's the first reason. That's Sci Guy. They're Cyclones. They call their mascot Sci. So that's the first reason for the channel. The second, the 29 part, comes from famous Kansas City Royals pitcher Dan Quisenberry, number 29. Dan was my second cousin, my mom's first cousin, my grandmother, and his mom were sisters. So that's that reason. A lot of my content that I plan on doing is going to be based on those two parts of my name. I've had the very good fortune of having a lot of opportunities that a lot of people maybe wouldn't. And I'd like to share those not only with everyone else, but for family that maybe forgot about it or didn't know it to begin with. Other things I could cover in my channel would be my twins. Okay, yes, Dan Quisenberry, Royals, I get it. I'm a Twins fan, became a Royals fan for a few years, about a decade when he was with them, but my allegiance lies here right now. You might be able to see the Kirby Puckett stuff behind me. Definitely one of my main PCs. Also, from a baseball standpoint, there may be some stories about the Iowa Cubs minor league team. It's only about an hour. I can be at their stadium in about an hour and 25-minute drive from my home. So I've got some good stories from there. From an NFL standpoint, it's an addiction. It's a sickness. The Vikings. Can't help it. It is what it is. I just roll with it. Also, you may get some content involving NASCAR. Share a birthday with Jeff Gordon and Kurt Busch. Kind of got sucked into that world, a little more than about 15, 20 years ago now, and just enjoyed it ever since. The reason I started this was an article I read from Beckett Media at the beginning of all this lovely coronavirus stuff. 11 things you could do with your collection, or for your collection, with your collection, whatever you want to call it. It's pretty easy to find the article out there. I know Baseball Collector referenced it in a video just yesterday. So definitely one of those things you could check out if you want to know more about it. One of the things was to create content. I don't have a lot of money to buy cards. I'm an educator, so right now I've got the next at least 2.5 weeks. We'll see what happens after that. More to create content. And I thought, what better time? I can't afford to buy cards, and I'll go in more detail why, what some of the drawbacks are. But one of the things I thought I'd like to do. One of the main things, like I said earlier, like I'd like to do is talk about stories related to the things that I have, my collectibles, my cards, maybe a story just involving a card or something along those lines. Most involving guys, a lot of you've probably never heard of, or if you have, you're old like me. Next thing, I'd like to give some thank yous. This idea for doing this kind of got in my head not quite a year ago, around the time of the National. I was supposed to attend with a couple of friends of mine. I'm just really getting back into the collecting part of it. Always wanted to go to the National. Chicago's about a 7.5-hour drive from where I live, so that's very doable. They were going out. They go out to Chicago every time it's there. They invited me. Didn't work out. So I started, I will also work in the summers with our tech department at school. So I started, as I was doing my menial tasks, finding YouTube videos of the National just to kind of see what I was missing. Baseball Collector was the first one I found. Really started connecting with his content, his collecting habits. Love the knowledge that he shares, his ideas, opinions that he shares. Obviously, this YouTube Hall of Fame is awesome. But, you know, from an age standpoint, connected there too. Through that, met Snoop 12922, introduced to. Other people, Up North Collectors were in those videos. Mike O, I think, had some stuff. several guys like that. More recently, I've started listening to About the Cards podcast. Found it on YouTube. I love to have that on when I'm working at school or in the garage, mowing the yard. Just great content. Also, a podcast outside of the YouTube community called the Puck Junk Podcast. I am also a hockey guy. I have no hats. I love to watch hockey, but it's neither here nor there. So hopefully you stick around, see some of the content. Please share with me your ideas, thoughts, maybe other stories. And I look forward to seeing you in the future. Thanks a lot.